better sit for this. So, I was, rather than make a big speech, I was going to actually play the end of a movie, my favorite movie, Ratatouille. But apparently there are copyright issues with that, and they'll cut off our feed, and then they were all awry. So, there's a scene where you guys have seen the movie where it's about a very creative, talented rat and a very egotistical critic who is named Ego. You can guess which one I am. And there's a scene at the end that he says that is really, I think, I kind of wanted people to see it, but I'll read it. It says, in many ways, this is the food critic speaking. His name is Anton Ego. Try to imagine me doing it in a Peter O'Toole accent, because I'm not going to try. But in many ways, the work of a critic is easy. We risk very little, yet enjoy a position over those who offer up their work and themselves to our judgment. We thrive on negative criticism, which is fun to write and to read. But the bitter truth we critics must face is that in the grand scheme of things, the average piece of junk is probably more meaningful than our criticism designating it so. But there are times when a critic truly risks something, and that is in the discovery and the defense of the new. The world is often unkind to new talent, new creations. The new needs friends. I think a lot of people talked about what we disagreed about as a board, but we didn't actually disagree about very much. I think with maybe a couple of exceptions, every single person in this room, if Ron DeSantis woke up tomorrow and said school grades are going away, testing's going away, this whole reduction of children to nothing more than numbers to sell is going away, the state's going to be a partner, not an enemy. If he woke up tomorrow and said all of that, everybody in this room, except maybe two people, would stand up and cheer. What we disagreed about is what to do about the reality that we live in. How passive to be in the face of it. How much the idea of finding something new needed friends. I am the kind of person who has always kind of liked to be a friend of the new. In a lot of ways, I'm sad for my kids that had to grow up in this model that has hurt them as kids. What has been enormously beneficial to them is going to school in a community that looks like America, that is fully, that is as diverse as this community is. Only public school can provide that at its best. And it's a shame that the way we measure it, the way we try to rank it and to sort it, is how we have to experience learning in a formal way. I'm 49 years old, or almost, I'm 48. My generation and the generation in front of me, the older generation, has done a really bad job. We've left a very poor country and a very poor world behind us. And poor, I mean not in terms of wealth, in terms of prospects. We've been irresponsible as generations. We've sat by and let things happen that we shouldn't have. I think there's an element of that, particularly in education in Florida. And I've worked really, really hard in the last 4 years to try to show people there might be a different way to do it. We've been doing things the same way for 25 years now, and the same miseries exist. I want to sort of single out Miss Reynolds for just a second. She very powerfully, I thought, several times, wept about what this model of education had done to her, how it had affected her, how being reduced to a test had affected her. And she was elected with power to do something about it, as was I. And I think the question we all have to ask ourselves is, what are we doing about the things we know are broken? What are we doing to enhance the development of our children's humanity? I know, having spoken to so many folks here in this organization, having interacted with so many of them, the sacrifice and the suffering that happens every day to bring a bit of joy or a bit of learning or a bit of an experience to a child when all the power is stacked against it. The people who do that every day have inspired me. They will continue to inspire me, and I will forever be, in whatever way I can, a voice for, a friend of the new, a voice for a new way of looking at the world that is fundamentally developmental. Finally, I could go down and just sort of thank everybody and express my appreciation to everybody, and I would inevitably leave people out. It's been a really fascinating experience. The engagement with folks, getting fussed at's been fun. Getting to fuss back has been fun. There's nothing more important to the future of America and to the future of our kids than coming up with a way to collaboratively develop all of our kids. I do want to take a moment to thank Susan Worthington particularly. She is an extraordinarily kind and decent person whose well-being I take very, very seriously. I appreciate her very, 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 very much. And I appreciate everybody who worked so professionally to facilitate the work we're trying to do here. And with that, I'll just say thanks.